You mentioned a couple of minutes ago about how you didn't want the American League to beat you. And through the 60s and early 70s, while you were in the All-Star game, the National League really had a dominance over the American League in the All-Star game. Do you remember how that came about? And was that just a fluke, or was there something really more to it?
I would have to say, if you watched your All-Star game starting in 1954, we had 3 players playing daily, 9 innings. That was myself, Clemente, Aaron. We played 9 innings every day. And I can say this, if you watch the last 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, we won a lot of games in 7th, 8th, and 9th. We was involved in all the winning combination, regardless of who was. And I wanted to lead off. And I always tell the manager, I would say, lead me off. Let me get you on the board. And then we play, we go from there. So I think when we had guys like that wanted to play 9 innings, I think it was a very special thing for us.
I've heard you say, and I really agree with you, that it's tough to compare guys from different eras. It's not really fair to either era.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But without comparing, who are the guys today that you enjoy watching play? Who are the guys that you would pay to see play?
I don't watch baseball that much. I hate to say that because I'm a type of guy, I want to be on the field. I want to be involved in the action. When I quit playing baseball, it was very difficult for me to watch baseball. If you love baseball the way I did, you don't watch guys all the time. You don't be around the game all the time. My best time in baseball is spring training. I love to go to spring training. I love to be around the guys. I love to have fun with them. During the regular season, it's very difficult because they're all trying to make teams. They're trying to do well, and it's very hard. But I really don't have no favorite in baseball right now because I don't watch it all the time, and it's not right to pick out just one guy and say, hey, I love to see him play, because a lot of them are in the American League nowadays.
Sure. If I understand correctly, Barry Bonds is your godson?
Yes.
What do you think of Barry, and how has he progressed as a player since you've known him, I guess, since he was a little kid?
Well, I think the best thing for Barry is when he went to school, when he went to Arizona State, I think he did. Yeah. And from that, even though if he didn't play baseball, he had a mind. And I think Barry have improved from a little child to a man right now. If you hear Barry talk right now, he talks very cocky. He talks like he can do everything in the world, and which is very good to a certain extent, where you can do it on the field. But sometimes you have to give a little bit once you get off the field and leave that, cockiness away from you,
Yeah. You mentioned that it was tough for you when you quit playing to go out because you're a player. Is it tougher now that it's almost been 20 years since you played to watch a game, or was it tougher as soon as you retired? What was
I think it was tough as soon as I retired because I found myself getting up in the morning, going to the ballpark. I found myself in the afternoon going to the ballpark, even though I wasn't going to do anything. And I think for the first 3 years it was very difficult. I had to get back on the field my 4th, 5th, and 6th year to just go out there and just be Willie Mays rather than Willie Mays, a baseball player. And I think that was one of the hardest tasks that I had in baseball. Baseball, to me, was a very, very easy game, and I had fun with it.
I'm sure you've heard the thought that guys who are superstars, guys like yourself, guys like Mantle, guys like Aaron, because the game came, quote unquote, so easy to you, that the guys who are that good don't make good managers. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's not a fair assessment?
I think I would agree with that. Managing a ball club is a very, very hard job. You have to sit over there when you're losing. You have to sit over there when you're winning. You have to be wherever the club is. I don't know if I could do that because you're talking 182 games plus spring training. I think a manager have to have a lot of patience. And the reason I think a lot of managers wasn't real superstars, they have patience. And they're the one that have the jobs day in and day out. I think Ted Williams tried it for a couple of times. He didn't make it that much. I don't know a lot of guys. Frank Robinson, I think, had it for a while. But if you look at all the managers around the league, there wasn't a lot of superstars that are in the managerial business right now that played, a superstar type of baseball.
Who were the guys or guy while you were playing that you thought were the best player or players? Not looking back to today's game, but while they were your contemporaries. Who would those players be?
Well, I always put myself first, but I don't want to do that. But you're talking about as guys I played with. We had Stan Musial. I played with when I was coming in. We had Mickey played in the Negro Leagues, so I didn't see too much of him. We had Aaron Clemente, Frank Robinson, Eddie Matthews. My God, you pick any ball club, and you could name 4 or 5 guys on that particular club that could hurt you and play very good ball. You can't do that today.
Sure.
It's very difficult because every club that we played, the Dodgers had sometimes 8 guys that could play. The Giants had maybe 5 guys. The Braves had, they might have had 6 guys that could do, play every day for you. But it's very difficult. We just had good teams in those days, I think. Yeah.
One of the stories CBS is doing for its pregame show was a story on the Negro Leagues. Mm-hmm. And I know you played in the Negro Leagues for a couple of years. What was that experience like, and was the competition as good, if not better, than the majors?
No, I don't think it was Major League caliber, but I'll say AAA. When I first broke in with the Birmingham Black Barons, I was about 14 or 15, and that was hard ball. They'd knock you down and laugh at you. If you hit a home run, they'd knock you down again. I think I learned that from the Negro League. So when I came into baseball, professional baseball, knockdown wasn't a problem with me. I don't think I ever had a fight when a guy knocked me down. I think I was more aggressive when he knocked me down than he was if he did knock me down. I needed a challenge to go and play with, and I think coming from the Negro League, and this is why I help them out so much now, I was programmed. I was programmed to do certain things that when I came in the league, not to fight. I didn't feel that it was necessary to fight. Hit home runs, that kills the pitcher. You get him out of the game. So all these things that I see happening when I came in fighting-wise wasn't my part of the game.
Sure. The other guys that you've mentioned, Musial, Aaron, Clemente, those are names any baseball fan would recognize. But there are a lot of guys who played in the Negro Leagues who are probably the equal of those players, but just never got the recognition because they were
No. We had Luke Easter.
Right.
You had
Cool Papa Bell.
Cool Papa Bell. I'm talking about guys that sometimes made it in the majors.
After the
Larry Doby, you had Monty Irvin, you had Hank Thompson, Ernie Banks, Aaron. The guys that didn't make it was what you're talking about was Cool Papa Bell, Oscar Charleston, Willow Wells, shortstop. I don't know all the names because they came before me. You got to understand now, these guys was in their 30s and 40s when I was 14, and I didn't recognize all. Satch was there. Satcher Pace I faced him 1 or 2 times when I was about 14. Buck Leonard, Josh Gibson, I never did see, but they say he was a real good hitter. So I was in the league and didn't know a lot of these guys because they were a little older than I.
Talking before the camera was on, you were saying to me the 2 biggest influences on your game were your dad and Leo DeRocher. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, my father, when I was coming along, he taught me to try and do everything in baseball. That means run, hit, throw, field, hit with power, and most of all, think. I had to think the game out before I went on the field so that when the ball came to me, I didn't have to think. Everything just came natural. When I came to the majors, Leo gave me the motivation to go out and put all these things my dad had taught me together because coming from the Negro League into the majors was very, very scary. And at that time, there was a little segregation going on where we couldn't stay with the guys too much, so that was another hurdle that I had to go over. But again, I was programmed for that. I was ready for all that kind of stuff, so it didn't really bother me from playing. It just made me play that harder because I knew that if I played hard and do the things my father had already taught me, then I could stay around for a long time.
Well, I've heard you just today and a number of times talk about your love for the game.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can put that into words, or is that just something that's innate and you really can't describe it?
Well, love for the game of baseball was like eating. You know, I don't talk baseball too much. Every time I talk baseball, I start little tears coming around because I love the game, and I'd rather cut right now because I feel tears coming in my eyes now. If I like, I'd just like to cut it off right now if I can.
Sure.